Okay, so I'm going to show you how to dispute calls. The fastest way to do that is to go right into the local service ads app. I'm assuming that you'll actually have the app, and if you have multiple locations, you're going to have to set up multiple pages that you're going to toggle between. When I would name the email addresses, different emails, so you can toggle between the different locations and you know the locations by the email address, okay? Now, if you see a lead here, this is where you see a lead, you jump in here, and then to dispute the call, you just go up to the top here and you dispute it. That's how you dispute a lead. Okay, so right there is how you dispute leads. And you want to use the actual app itself or go into your MCC account. Here's what an MCC account looks like. And I'm going to show you the reason why you want an MCC account and why you want all your accounts in an MCC account, because then you can see these two columns, the calls versus calls connected. And the reason why this is important is because this tells you if you're actually answering up to 90% of your calls. For example, this client here had 20 calls for the most recent month and they answered 19. That's great. That's what you want to see. Now, if they answered, say, 15, then I would be concerned because that would be less than 90%. So this is why you want to have everything in an MCC account, and because you can see everything in one place. You can see all of your accounts in one place. And what that allows you to do then is you can go into the account. I'm going to tap on this one right here. I'm just going to go to this one right here. And this is where you can actually see the leads. It takes you right to the leads. Okay, so here's where you go to the leads. It allows you to book or archive the call. It also allows you to call the lead back. You'll notice in the app in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little call button. There's a little phone that will allow you to call the person back, which I highly recommend that you guys do. Okay, that's why the MCC account is important. Now, I want to show you another thing here. I'm going to go into the sheets here. I'm going to go to one of our clients. This is what we call our master list, okay? We send this master list over to the client every day for them to give us updates. Here's the notes that my team adds. We listen to every single call. And if your agency that's managing your LSA account or your Google Screened account or Google Guaranteed account is not doing this, if they're not listening to all your calls and telling you a follow-up plan or giving you notifications when a call is disconnected or a call is missed, and also is not keeping track, for example, of when a document was sent but it wasn't signed, and giving you a report of that every single week or every day, then you're going to be missing a lot of calls. You're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities. And what's also going to happen is you're not going to convert as many of these leads. And this was happening, for example, with this client way back here, but you'll notice there's fewer missed calls over time. Why is that? That's because we give feedback to the client every single day, okay? And everybody has access to the spreadsheet. And you can see very easily when a case was signed up. Okay, here's a case that was signed for 2,000, 1,800, 2,000 down. All these calls are recorded as well. And here's the links to every call. So if somebody wanted to listen to the call to see what really happened, they can tap right here and it will open up an audio player and it'll play the actual audio of the recording of that call. These are the notes that my team puts here. This is the section where the client needs to put in their notes, and you'll see there's a drop down here that allows them to identify things like whether or not the case was signed, whether it was declined, under review, wrong number, referred, still working. So this is really important, guys. I mean, this is how you keep track of this stuff. Now, this client is just putting everything on this column. They're not using the drop-down menu anymore. But I'm going to show you something that's very interesting. If you go back here to the summary, here is where they were in May, okay? Here's where they were in June, and then here's July. Now, this is everything in one place. Keep in mind, if your agency is not doing this for you, you're missing out, because here's what we're doing. We're actually identifying the number of disputations that were approved and what percentage of the overall number of calls were actually approved for disputation every single month. 16% were actually approved for disputation right there. Okay, 16% of the overall calls. And they signed 20% of them. And their cost per case was $490. And their cost per lead was $98.04. and their net ad spend that they spent was $980.37. And they got 10 qualified leads. They got 12 total leads. Disputed, approved for disputation was 2. So that means that there was 10 qualified leads because 12 minus 2 is 10. Okay? And then you can go to the next month. 56 total leads, signed 2, approved for disputation, 11. 56 minus 11 is 45. They signed 4.4%. Their approval rate for disputation was almost 20%. That means basically 11 of 56 is about 20% of the leads were approved for disputation. Is your agency giving you these numbers? Are they telling you the amount of calls that were approved for disputation? If they're not, you need to find this information out. Here's the big question. Why was their cost per case so high in July? We can find out, and I'll show you in 1 second. So all these leads right here all came in June. It's June 1st starts about right here, and then July is about right up here, okay? So what we see is we see a bunch of callbacks, scheduled callbacks for follow-up, and there's no information here from the client. And they missed a lot of calls. They missed calls. We successfully disputed all these ones in orange down here. But look at this, missed call, bunch of missed calls. And there's a doc sent, not signed. So this is what's going on here. But they really curtailed that. You can see here's where July starts, right about right here. Not as many missed calls and a bunch of docs sent but not signed. So that means that they're doing much better. They're doing a lot better here. So this is what you want to see. Their numbers turned out to be much better in July and not so good in June. And this is why this master list is so important to get sent out every day so that we keep your intake team accountable for these missed calls, these disconnected calls, and for them to call them back and to fix any issues that come up that would lead to missed calls or disconnected calls. Because every lead is important. I hope this makes sense. And I hope you really look at this and consider this when you're considering what agency to go with.